Hey, hi and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to explain you different stages involved in hardware development process. So there are total 10 stages, out of which in this video, which is basically the part 1, I'm going to explain you 2 stages. Okay. So this video is going to be pretty interesting and I am sure you will definitely enjoy it. So that being said, now let's start with this video. You already know the learning objective of this video. So let me quickly tell you what you are going to learn in this video. So you will learn what are the different phases or stages involved in hardware development process. Then as I'm going to explain you 2 phases in this video. So you will learn what happens during project acquisition phase and project plan phase. Alright. Now let me show you the different phases of hardware development process. Now here, some of you will have a question why it's important to know different stages involved in hardware development process. See, the reason is, when you will start working for an electronics product development company, no matter what type of company you're working for, whether it's, whether it's a small startup or a big multinational company, as a hardware developer, this process will be part of your professional life. Okay. That's why before we start with this PCB design training, I want you guys to know the different stages involved in developing a hardware based product. Okay. So this is basically the simplified block diagram of hardware development process, which represents the different stages involved in it. So I will walk you through different stages one by one and we will discuss each and every stage in detail. Now, this block diagram, it can be very much complicated depending on the complexity of electronics product you are working on or the type of company you are working with. But these blocks, or these stages are basically the primary stages of hardware development process. And they will be there no matter what type of electronics product you will work on. Okay. So listen to this video properly. So the first phase is project acquired or project acquisition phase. Okay. Now in this phase, there will be a communication between the client and the company. So client is actually an entity who wants to build the product, hardware product, and company is actually the entity who is actually responsible for building that hardware product. Okay. So in this phase, the client is going to share, all the information will be shared with the company. But before sharing the information, this client will actually sign an NDA agreement with this company. Now you will have a question, what is this NDA? NDA basically stands for non-disclosure agreement. Okay. And once the company signs the NDA, now the company is actually restricted to share the product related information with anyone outside the company. Okay. Also, that company is actually not allowed to sell that product. Okay. Otherwise, this client have all the rights to file a lawsuit against this company. Okay. So that's basically the NDA. And whenever there will be a client company communication or whenever somebody shares a crucial information with some other entity, generally this NDA will be signed. Okay. Between the two parties. Now, once the NDA is signed, later client will share all the information related to the product with the company. And this information is actually nothing but the document in which everything related to the product will be written. For example, the specifications of the product will be written. Then the different features that client want to incorporate in the product, those features will be written. Then after that, the industry in which that product will be deployed. Then what will be the quantity of product, then what are the expectations of client from the company, then what will be the expected duration of delivery, and in the end all the deliverables. Okay. So all this information will be actually written in that document which client is going to share with the company. Okay. And after that, once the company receives this document, later what company is going to do? The company is actually going to create a proposal or it's going to build a proposal for that particular product. Okay. In which again all the same things will be written based on the inputs of the client, like specification of the product, then different features that will be present in the product, then again the grade of product based on the industry in which it will be deployed, quantity of product, approximate delivery date, how much company is going to charge to the client, and in the end all the deliverables. Okay, so almost most of the things are going to be the same. The purpose of this proposal is here this company is legally telling this client that whatever they have written in this document, only those things they are going to deliver, and every company does this, okay, in order to avoid any kind of conflicts in the future. Okay, so every company does this and they have to do this basically. So once the proposal is prepared, later that proposal will be shared with the client. After that, the client will check that proposal and validate whether all the expected deliverables are present or not, whether duration of delivery is okay or not, whether pricing is in the budget of a client or not. So all these things will be actually checked by the client. And if the client is okay with the proposal, then the project will be given to that particular company. Okay, and later that company will start working on that project. Okay, and in case if client is not okay with something, let's say the pricing or the duration of delivery or the deliverables, then client will point out all those things. Okay, and later again based on the inputs of client, company will provide the revised proposal to the client, and this process will continue till the point both the parties agree on the proposal. Okay, and this is how basically this phase works. So that's all about the project acquisition phase, and I hope that it's now clear. After that, the next phase is project plan. Now what is project plan? See, project plan is basically a phase in which the company discusses how to complete a project within a certain time frame, considering different stages. For example, if you see here there are multiple stages, right? And considering all these stages, we actually prepare a project plan. Okay, so in this phase, we actually allot or dedicate a suitable time frame to specific stage. Okay, in short, we actually create a timeline for the entire project. And generally, this timeline will be created with a mutual discussion with the team. Now, when we consider a hardware-based product, there will be different people involved in the team, okay, who will be responsible for completing a specific part of the product. Like there will be a hardware designer who will be responsible for designing the hardware. Then there will be firmware developer who will be responsible for writing the firmware for the product. Then there will be application developer who will be responsible for writing application level code. Then there will be mechanical designer whose responsibility is to design the enclosure for the product. After that, there will be system architect, or we also call it as a team lead, okay, who have the knowledge of all the above mentioned domains, and he will be responsible to coordinate with the above team members. Okay, and then there will be a project manager who will be actually responsible for monitoring the timeline of the project, and accordingly time to time he will actually coordinate with the members of different department to know the current status. Okay, so these all people that I mentioned, these all people will actually sit together, and under the leadership of project manager, they are going to create a timeline, okay, or project plan of the project. Other members are also needed in this phase because they are the people who are going to complete the respective task. So they know better how much time it will take to complete that specific task. Okay, for example, mechanical design engineer, he knows how much time it will take to complete the enclosure. Okay, so based on the inputs of different team members, the project plan will be created by the project manager, and later that entire team will work as per that project plan. Okay, so that's how things work in this particular phase. Okay, so that's all about this phase, and I hope that this phase is now clear to you. Alright, so that's what I wanted to tell in this video. Now in next video, we will see part 2 of hardware development process.